Howdy everyone, and happy Monday. We have made it to the dreaded Monday after daylight saving time begins. We lost an hour of the weekend. You had to wake up. The whole sleep schedule's off. We get it. Don't worry, we're in the same boat. But for some folks, it's spring break, so they don't have to worry about getting up to an alarm. And good for them because they have great weather for some outdoor plans for the first half of the week. Afternoon highs today in Houston at 74 degrees. And we're up to about 76 tomorrow, slowly but surely warming. And then here we go. Wednesday is where we're going to be seeing some of the warmest temperatures for the next 7, back to the low, if not mid 80s in some spots. It's going to be warm. It's going to be humid. And it's going to be dry in the sense that we're not going to be seeing any rain. Obviously not feeling dry out there with those winds coming out of the south, and that's really bringing up some of that tropical moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. But if you are planning on heading out to the rodeo today, get your cowboy hats and boots on and get ready to rodeo. Going to be a really good one. But let's break down the hour-by-hour forecast for you as we head into your 2 o'clock hour. Pretty nice, reaching the low 70s and then up to about 73, 74 as that high today. What we're going to be seeing in the skies, though, is gradual clearing. So yes, this morning there were a lot of clouds overhead, but that sun is going to be shining bright by a little bit later this afternoon, not only in Houston, but also out in Galveston. Maybe you're planning on heading out to the beach. So glad we finally get to bring back the beach forecast. Have lunch outside, why not? And then those clear skies this evening with temperatures rising to the upper 60s. Now here's a look, live look, as of 11:30, almost 2 on the dot of one of our cameras right on top of our Fox 26 studios. Now I've been watching it all day. Sun's trying to peek through the clouds a little bit, and then at other times not so much. And right now it is showing mostly cloudy, but we're going to be seeing a lot of the clouds start to shift off to our east, so that will bring that gradual clearing a little bit later. But let's get you out the door. Maybe you have some lunch plans this afternoon and you want to open the window or sit on the patio. Do so. 63 degrees right now, winds out of the east at about 7 miles per hour, full visibility like we saw this morning, so you don't need to worry about anything as you're heading out the door. Widespread low 60s right now across the board. Looks like the Woodlands is one of the warmer spots at 65 degrees. Now these temps are up anywhere from 2 to about 7 degrees from this time yesterday. We talked about a warming trend, and it has begun. And it's only going to continue to rise through the middle of the week. And honestly, it's going to stay pretty warm through the end of your spring break as well. And into the final days of the rodeo. I'm so bummed that it's over. Almost over. We still got a full week left. A lot more to happen. But let's show you what is happening across the region. We talked about those clouds, and here they are, slowly starting to shift off to the east toward Louisiana. So once it takes all that cloud cover, then we're going to be seeing the sun out and shining, helping raise temperatures. But the real reason that we're seeing that warming trend is to high pressure. And you can see that it is clockwise motion. So I'm probably doing it backward on your screen, just the way the green screen works. But think the way as a clock goes, and it kind of shifts down to 6 o'clock. And that means that winds will be shifting out of the southeast. If you kind of think it like the hands on a clock. And with that, that's what's going to be bringing up some of that moisture, like I mentioned, from the Gulf of Mexico. So warm today, highs where you live across Fort Bend County, 76 degrees in Katy, 74 in Fresno, and 75 in Siena today. But let's get you out to some hour-by-hour forecasts so that you can plan the rest of your afternoon and evening. In Rice Military, going to be peaking right around 73 today, and then temps will be dipping back into the 50s tonight. Another round of those low 70s in Pasadena, likely in the 60s by the time maybe you're leaving your dinner plans or you're just taking the dog out on a late night walk. Conroe is going to be a hair warmer, but you can see the temperature difference going to be a bit higher. I mean, already by 11 o'clock tonight, we will be in those upper 50s. And a similar story in Livingston. Looks like 72 is going to be the forecast high there. But speaking of tonight, maybe you're not taking the dog out. You're going to be heading out to rodeo to see Whiskey Myers. They're taking the star stage this evening, and temps are great. You know, you're getting some food before, going to the wine garden. Maybe the kids want to shoot some hoops at some of the carnival games. Temps in the upper 60s through 7. I mean, now with the time change, we're still seeing the sun at that time. But by 11, you're driving home, you're walking to your car in the parking lot, we will be in the upper 50s. So keep that in mind if you need to bring a jacket, maybe you're just trying to plan ahead. That's what we're here for. Now, lows tonight, once again in the 50s, but not quite as cool. I will say this morning was not bad. So we'll actually call it mild across the entire viewing area early tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow afternoon, temperatures are going to be even warmer. I mean, we're talking 75 degrees in New Waverly, 76 in Conroe tomorrow, as well as Magnolia, 77 in Splendora, Porter Heights to the Woodlands. So again, Tuesday. Yes, there's going to be a few more clouds in the sky, which is what our forecast models are showing, but not going to stop those temps from rising. So outdoor plans for the kiddos as they have their spring break, you'll be good to do so. But let's talk about the allergies. Speaking of being outside, I mean, the oak tree pollen is at extreme levels today. And I worked this weekend and it was the same thing. I mean, this has been basically off the charts. Grasses and mold spores have dropped just a bit to more moderate, whereas any weed allergens is very low at this time. But this tree pollen, I mean, you even get a little bit of wind. You can just see that pollen pick up in the air. It's likely creating a layer of yellow on top of your car. So you're probably going to need that car wash. And I would say do it now because as rain chances do rise as we head into the end of the week, that will kind of be a natural car wash. But I don't know. I hate when you have the windshield wipers on and you can see that yellow pollen. Probably a good time to do so. Here's a look at that spring break forecast. The kids are heading out to the park. Definitely need to stay hydrated on Wednesday as we'll be up to 83. Still in the 80s on Thursday. But that's when showers are going to be returning. And not just showers, also the chance for some thunderstorms as well. So here we go with the rain chances. Now, very, very low Wednesday. If anything, it'd be like a sprinkle at night. Not something to worry about with your plans. It's more like Thursday into Friday and even into Saturday. So here we go. A lot's happening across the western half of the U.S. If you've been watching some national weather, you see the Cascades are getting another round of snow, and we're seeing that in portions of California. But here we go. There's areas of low pressure with trailing cold fronts that are making their way from the Pacific Ocean into the west coast, and then they're actually holding true and making its way through the midsection of the U.S. and to right here in Texas. So we are going to be seeing the chance for some showers out ahead of this cold front Thursday, but you can see as it sweeps through right along that line is where some strong storms could be picking up. Now, right now, it looks like the center of that is going to be a bit north and east of our viewing area, but we're not ruling out the chance to see that rain move through. So this is our forecast rain today through Friday, so through the end of the week. And it does look like a bit more saturated in the northern portion of the viewing area, but not ruling out the chance to see that rain off to the south. But then as we look a bit broader, I mentioned areas out toward North Texas into Louisiana, all the way to Memphis, even Nashville is kind of where they're going to be seeing most of the rain. But you have to remember that this is a 5-day span of that rain. So it's not saying just one day and this is where it's going. These are just kind of trends showing where some of the heavier rain is going to be setting up. And it looks like that's where we could be seeing it. And looking longer term, we're talking March 17th through the 21st. Well, southern half of the U.S. and us here in Texas going to be seeing slightly above average rain chances. And there you go, unsettled weather like we mentioned, continuing through our weekend here. And then as for temperatures, looks like we're actually just below seasonal. Now it's interesting because our 7-day forecast does not show that, but we're looking into next week. So things are going to be cooling down just a bit. And cool in air quotes, I mean, we're into middle end of March. So things are going to be relatively comfortable, but it won't be as warm as really what we were seeing last week. But here you go with that 7-day forecast. Temperatures are back up to the 80s through the end of the week, and with afternoon highs in the 80s, that means wake-up temperatures are back to the 60s, nearly waking up to close to 70 degrees by Friday, but that's when the humidity, that rain chances come in, and unsettled weather likely throughout the weekend. I'm not going to say it's a complete washout at this time. As the models get into better agreement on where that front, if it stalls overhead, we could have a bit more rain. If it doesn't, clears through, then maybe not as much. So we're going to have more details on that. Make sure you stick with us on Fox Local for all of those updates.